This is the C4 XPR. It's the race blade. This is designed for racing. It wasn't designed to be a surfing paddle. It's ultra light, carbon fiber, race. This is a Formula One. This is the best road bike. This is not made for off-road. I really wouldn't consider it a blade that you'd put in the surf. This is strictly a racing blade. It's designed out of Kevlar and carbon. It has different flex coefficients in it that we're trying to accomplish. And what we're trying to do is that what we've learned from our team riders and people that race a lot is that the blade is very, very important, and we know this from our canoe racing, how important it is. But again, we're at a different, we're standing, so our center of gravity is much higher, our leverage point is much higher. So when you take a stroke with a blade, a normal blade through the water, the catch is very strong. Stiff blades, even our own, very stiff blade. So when you catch the water, it grabs right away. What happens is it has a tendency to pull your body over the blade because you're forcing the catch, and just that pressure, as you know from trying to surf bumps and stuff, you want to be really smooth and technical through the water. So if you have to pressure the front too much, you'll compress. So what we're trying to do is lighten the catch. It's called the catch, where the blade enters the water. But as it comes through the power phase, you want the blade to power up even stronger as you get to the point where you're more balanced and coming through the stroke. You want to be more balanced as you come through. Right here is where the main power phase starts to take place. So what we've done is we've designed actually a three-stage paddle here. And what happens is the first stage is the catch. And on the catch, you want the blade to feel the water and take hold of it. If it's too powerful through the water, it'll create a hole, or almost like burning out on a car. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to set the blade and pull it through. So what we've designed is we've designed a blade that actually, the tip flexes, okay? This is a flexible tip. So as you start in with the catch of the blade, it forgives you on the catch, but as you come through the power phase, through here, stage 2 of the thing, the flex starts to straighten out, and it adds to increasing the power of the tip. Okay. The other thing it does is as you increase the power of the tip, the third stage is because you're powered up, the blade will release easier. Okay. So it's the only blade in its category that exclusively for racing that actually has a 3-stage power phase, and it's very comfortable to paddle with. It's super light. Again, it's not recommended for surfing, recommended for racing, and I think you'll be really impressed by the feel of it, the way it goes through the water. It's really forgiving, but yet super powerful.
Is there a difference in this because of the thinness in the blade versus the other one?
Well, you got to remember that these blades are made for primarily surfing and stuff like that, so they're made a little stouter. All our new models are much stouter. They have the backside of the blade has a curve in it, so that when you set it down in the wave and you're trying to do your turns off of and pivot off the paddle, the dihedral is really strong all the way through. So the power face is forgiving but yet strong. Now when you get into this blade, what happens is it's much thinner, it's much lighter, it releases quicker, but what we're trying to do is get a blade that actually, I'm really looking for the flex here, a 3-stage flex, a 3-stage power. And we accomplish this by setting up the molds in such a way that the carbons are registered and the Kevlars are registered in certain directions. We still hold a very strong dihedral. So what happens is you have a very strong power face with a dihedral that drives the blade smooth and steers the blade. So again, it's a really comfortable 3-stage power paddle.
Do you find that on this paddle that you'll fatigue less over a long distance run than on the other paddle?
Yeah, I do, because for one, it's lighter, and 2, you're setting up a more consistent power phase. You know, with heavier, stiffer paddles or blades that don't have a 3-stage, even our first blades, I find that this blade, I'm less fatigued with it because it's less fatiguing on the muscle. That catch that you do, the original catch when you drive on that first stroke, you know, that's a lot of strength. It's real strenuous, I should say, on your joints and stuff. So that first catch is real powerful. Now this, it's still powerful, but it's a consistent staged power. So it makes it a lot more fluid. It'd be like running a steady jog as opposed to, you know, jumping up and down and jogging, jumping up and down and jogging. It's gonna kind of, you know, you're gonna get tired quicker because all of a sudden, you know, there's a jolt to your muscles. So it's much smoother.
How much on the racing paddles does the top part of the paddle have to do with the efficiency or how good the paddle is going to be versus when you're surfing?
You mean the dihedral?
No,
this
like on
part.
that side, yeah.
Oh, well, I think what it does is, what happens is, with a really thin blade like this, I really use the back side of the blade when I turn, and so the blade will skim smoother over the water because it's curved, like the hull of a boat. It'll curve across the water. If you look, it's got a curve in it. This one's somewhat curved, but it's got a real hard edge on it. And what happens with the edge is that it can, for me, it tends to catch and hook. It doesn't want to slide real smooth. So again, we're looking at a paddle that is set up for your distance, for your touring, for your racing. It's a specialty paddle.